Today is HIV and AIDS Awareness Day, but more than anything, it should be end the stigma when it comes to HIV and AIDS Day. You know, if you read a lot and so forth, or if you were someone that wasn't uninformed about cancer, and then one day happened to stumble upon someone that had cancer and seeing all the treatment that they have to go through and so forth, you would understand why in the beginning when cancer was new, why there was a lot of stigma when it came to cancer. As a matter of fact, the stigma that was circulating around cancer patients was kind of the same stigma that circulates around today with people who have HIV. The thing is, most people don't understand that HIV is not full bloated AIDS, right? HIV is survivable, and HIV with treatment can give you a life as normal and as long lasting as anybody else. As a matter of fact, from studies based off of children that were born HIV positive and who were on medication early on, they end up having healthy relationships where they have kids with their spouse, and all of the kids are negative. Basically, what it does is it does not completely cure you of HIV, just like no human being in history has ever been cured of the common cold. Yes, there's no cure for the common cold. So that's what makes viruses tricky. But they can suppress it to the point where it can't even be detected on tests, when people are doing HIV tests. And the problem with the campaigns for HIV about turning the infection rate into zero is that they make people that are negative feel better and relieved and more responsible, while the people that are positive are viewed as irresponsible, outcast, and they were looking for it. This stigma derives from the fact that people don't understand it, but also because it's one of those that's sexually transmitted. So most people, as soon as they hear HIV, they think sex. This isn't the case. A lot of people get infected, especially people who use drugs on the streets. When HIV and AIDS was still new, there was a time that it was perceived that only gay men could be infected by it. And this is something that even ran to Congress, and people were, calling it the gay virus, right? So later on, they discovered no, it does not discriminate. But the one thing that stuck was that sex element, because the stigma against gay people at that time was worse than it is today. Today, where you have places like the United States of America have marriage equality across all 50 states. So that time was different, but that stigma of getting it from sex, especially gay sex, which repulsed most of the people at that time, stuck. So as time went by, people couldn't reveal their status. Why? Because sticks and stones, they can break somebody's bones, but words can break people's hearts, right? So it's more painful when you don't have the necessary support from your friends, your peers, your colleagues, and your family because of the lack of understanding of this HIV. In fact, there are lots of countries in the world where people are not really properly educated when it comes to HIV, and the only preventative methods that they show them are putting condoms on a banana, right? While the fact that needles have to be sterilized, uh, is not something that's put into consideration, nor the benefits of the treatment, because most people see the treatment as, well, if you have the treatment, then you'll have a little bit more time to live. And this derives from the stigma that came from cancer, where cancer did not have a cure. So you were always told by a doctor, you have 6 months, you have 4 months. Until today, doctors, for some reason, keep making these predictions. Now, all of that, was brushed off as more and more people became infected globally, and it was considered an epidemic. That's when all of the stigmas went to HIV. And these stigmas include insurance that asks people to first test their HIV status before they are allowed on insurance. There are some jobs that actually require people do this, take HIV test before they can, be interviewed or accepted for the jobs. In some very rare cases, in some countries, even when it comes to bank loans, because when people hear HIV, they think short life, you will die soon. And nothing is further from the truth, especially from the people that were born with HIV, who have proven that the stigma is completely wrong, and that it is an ongoing research at the moment. Nobody is claiming to have a cure yet, so nobody can claim to know how far someone can go in life before it kills them. And one more important thing is, HIV doesn't actually kill people, nor AIDS. What it does is it makes the immune system weak. The white blood cells, that's why you get white blood cell counts, because your white blood cells are the ones that protect you from harmful viruses and disease and so forth. So most people don't die from HIV. They might die from TB. They might die from other diseases. But HIV doesn't kill. What kills you is the fact that you become unarmed, basically. So imagine you're in a bomb-proof car, right? And someone shoots at you. You escape, you go, you've survived. But imagine it isn't, and that's your body. In one, the body, which would be the car, can take the hits, and you will still be alive. In the second one, you would be completely vulnerable, and this could kill you. So that's why they say people need to take care of their health when they are HIV positive, because most of the time, and this is something that needs to be repeated and made known to people, it's not actually HIV and AIDS that kills you. It's the vulnerability that it creates. And HIV and AIDS should not be a reason for people to stop living a full life, especially with today's progress that has been made, right? So the stigma is uncalled for, and it leads to a lot of people not going to get treatment, and a lot of people not being as informed as they should be. And in fact, it leads to a lot of children who are born positive to grow up stigmatized and fearful because of the wrong information that they are given by their teachers, guardians, and the society at large. So we will get to zero as we start to fight one of the biggest hurdles when it comes to these viruses, and that is the stigma, the guesswork, the something that does not have proof. So as we get people to embrace it, then people will also embrace um, the treatment, and also embrace people that are infected as normal people.